Do college athletes spend too much time on sports compared to the amount of time they spend on academics? This topic has been talked about numerous times. However, college athletes are still constantly overworked. The NCAA decided to take a look into the number of hours athletes were truly putting into their sports and academics. When doing so, the NCAA asked the students how many hours they were spending training, conditioning, and playing their sports, while also how many hours they were spending in class and studying out of the classroom. Their study found the following. Division I athletes reported spending 37.3 hours per week on academics while spending 35.4 hours per week on athletics. Division II athletes reported spending 35.9 hours per week on academics while spending 33.5 hours per week on athletics. Division III athletes reported spending 39.1 hours per week on academics while spending 30.3 hours per week on athletics. According to these statistics, athletes spend almost as many hours on their athletics as they do on their academics. However, they are expected to excel in both. Due to the demanding schedule of being a college athlete, these students have had to become experts of time management. They have to find the balance needed to succeed both in their sport and in the classroom. Most students have guidelines that they have to follow in order to still be eligible to play their collegiate sport. In order to achieve this kind of success, students have to work full-time to reach their academic and athletic goals. In a study conducted by Florida National University, it was found that more than 30% of college freshman athletes have reported feeling overwhelmed, while 10% of college student athletes have been diagnosed with depression. Time management is so important that students make time for their academics and athletics, but it's also important for them to make time for social time. By doing so, it has shown to help students avoid so much depression and stress. Their social life creates an outlet for them to express themselves outside of academics and athletics. Many coaches and organizations have attempted to find solutions to the problems. In an attempt to fix the overwhelming schedules of college athletes, the NCAA decided to put in a 20-hour rule for their practices. This was applied to every college sport. This rule stated that countable athletically related activities must not occur more than 20 hours per week, while a maximum of 4 hours per day. The fact that schools have blatantly ignored this rule is very obvious. However, until now, no one has said anything to stop them. As explained by Forbes magazine, delegates ignored any new rule proposals about giving student athletes more free time. Therefore, still making college athletes put in more than 20 hours of practice per week. In an article published by USA Today, the possibility for new rules being established to end the loopholes is discussed. USA Today explains that under increasing pressure from student athletes, the schools have been seeking a way to address the time demands in an orderly, relatively uniform fashion that would not end up placing restrictions on elite athletes in the sports. It is a very lengthy process to get all of the schools on the same page about limiting athletes. They try to make sure they are not putting in too many rules that restrict how teams train. However, at the same time, they are trying to make sure student athletes train safely without overdoing it. Still to this day, there is not an exact way to stop all of the loopholes that colleges use to overtrain athletes. However, they are working on ways to stop the overtraining. Eventually, they will make rules that will stop it. That way, student athletes truly only have to train 20 hours per week while still being able to have plenty of time to maintain their academics. Thank you.